Hi there, thank you for joining me again and welcome to another Sunday session. This is Swill's Sunday session number 7 on the 7th of June at 7 p.m. So 777, not the number of the beast, a neighbour of the beast further up the road in a slightly better neighbourhood. Yeah, funny. So anyway, thanks for joining. So today's session, there's no theme in terms of albums or anything, no particular theme. These are random songs that I picked out based on this week's requests, and I asked people to send in a number this week. So hopefully that'll become clear in a moment. But the first song we're going to start off with, this goes way back to the beginning of The Men They Couldn't Hang, one of the very first songs that we recorded. It's on Demos and Rarities 2, which is available from the Men They Couldn't Hang's Bandcamp page. And this is for Steve Grealish. So this song was written by Paul Simmons, and when we first moved to London, when I first moved to London, I moved with a guy called Rich Maitland, and we did some recordings together and stuff. He was in Catch 22. And what happened is we'd met a girl at a gig in Southampton who was from London, and she said, anytime you come to London, just call me and you can stay as long as you like, So we took her on her word and we got the coach up to London, shortly after that, really, to be honest. And we arrived in London and called her, and she said, who? And I said, it's Swill and Rich, we met you at that gig. And you said, come and stay, And she said, oh, and it was obviously, just one of those things that people say. So she was embarrassed, couldn't put us up at all, but she kindly gave us a number of some friends of hers who lived in Ravenscourt Park. So we called them, and unbelievably, they said, we'll put you up for a little while, come and stay. So we did, and we made ourselves comfortable, and we went out on the first day. We went to the King's Mall in Hammersmith. And we were sat there, and in those days you could smoke indoors. So we were in this shopping mall, smoking rollies. And what we used to do is we used to have a tin. We were broke, and we used to have a tin with a bit of potato in the tobacco to keep the tobacco moist. And we were smoking away, and these couple of policemen came and walked past us, had a look at us, came back and started questioning us. And they asked to look in our tobacco tin and did a little search for us. And they found this bit of potato. I said that we were smoking dope, and we thought it was hilarious, so we just kind of laughed and mucked around. And I think as well, we'd been used to dealing with the local police down in Southampton, and particularly in the village, Netley, where we lived, and we knew all the coppers there, and so we were kind of taking the mickey a little bit, not expecting to be frog marched out of the precinct, put in a cell and locked up for about 4 hours. We even still thought this was hilarious. Because, for the first 20 minutes or so, we thought it was hilarious, and we were singing and mucking around. We knew we hadn't done anything wrong, and there was nothing they could do. But unknown to us, when they let us out after 3 or 4 hours, and we got back to the flat that we were staying in, these people who were putting us up but didn't know us, probably because of our cocky nature, the police had raided the place and turned the flat completely over. They'd pulled all the drawers out, emptied everything on the floor. The whole place was like a bomb site. And it was quite clear that at that point we'd overstayed our welcome. So we eventually found a place up in Shepherd's Bush where we lived for a few good years, a really good time, called Sinclair Mansions. Sounds grand, but I guarantee it wasn't. And that's where we first met Kush. So in some ways, this is almost like the inception of the Men That Couldn't Hang. Paul moved up shortly after that, and we did a lot of busking around Hammersmith, and Hammersmith was a place where we hung out, and all the pubs down there, the Hot Poles and various others. So Paul wrote this song. It's like a love song to Hammersmith in a way. It's called Broadway Melody. In the morning when I'm walking down to Hammersmith from the green, and the sky's like smoke and ivory, you can smell the nicotine. And there's music in the subways will tell a hungry tale. Runaways from every town, from Clyde to Scammerdale. And oh, that Broadway melody, the spice of life, it's jeopardy. Lord, that Broadway melody. Have a good night, baby. And there's fellas in the library that'll queue to read the Sun, spend their lodging money in a lunchtime at the Swan. By the river there are others contemplating suicide, but the pub doors will be open just before the returning tide. And oh, that Broadway melody, the spice of life is jeopardy. And oh, that Broadway melody, have a good night, baby. Ba-da-da-da-da, la-la-da-da, la-la-da-da, la-da-da-da-da. Take a walk down King Street, there's a builders on your left. The hop holds the salutation, at the top the majestic calf. Hammersmith and Palais, and in the underground, barbers by the Medline who'll cut you for a pound. And oh, that Broadway melody, the spice of life is jeopardy. And oh, that Broadway melody, have a good night, baby. And the jail is just a ride up the road to Shepherd's Bush. When you're hungry and you're homeless, there's many windows you can push. When it gets you out of there, take a walk to the cemetery, get a prayer and a sandwich at the gates of the nunnery. And oh, that Broadway melody, the spice of life is jeopardy. And oh, that Broadway melody, have a good night, baby. Broadway melody, written by my comrade in arms, Mr. Paul Simmons. And the reference there to getting a prayer and a sandwich at the gates of the nunnery was a place called Nazareth House, which was round the corner from the Clarendon, where we used to hang out as well. So when we were busking, we used to go up there and get a sandwich from the nuns, especially if we hadn't pulled in enough shekels from our busking. And when we had pulled in enough money from our busking, we would generally head into the Clarendon instead and spend it on beer. So yes, that's one. So now I mentioned that there was a kind of a theme to this one, a sort of theme. So it's not an album or anything. It's not. Well, the theme is kind of songbook. So I asked people to send in not a song request, but just a number. And so I picked through those numbers, and the first number I picked was 106. And I had a choice of songbooks, Paul's Around the Ragged Shoreline, which I think is still available on his Bandcamp page, and my Tales from the Track, which I think there's one or two of these left on my Bandcamp page. So I decided I'm going to go for 106 in Paul's songbook for the first one. So let's have a look here. 106, I've got it marked. There we go. So this song was on the 6-pack EP, a little EP that we did, kind of the second time around on Demon Records. So it was a bit of a drunken session, but it's got a fantastic cover, that EP. I haven't listened to it for a while, but the last one I listened to it, I thought, actually, this is better than I remember it, considering it was a very drunken session. So Kush would normally sing this song. If you've got Paul's book, go to page 106 and sing along. This is called Nightbird, and this song, what's kind of unusual about this song is Paul wrote this as a love song, but not to a person, he says, but to our tour bus. So we had a great tour bus, so we were driving around in, well, we weren't driving, but we were in, and we loved that tour bus. Tour bus has got kind of like two main areas. It's got a back lounge, It's got all bunks in the middle, so when you do get some sleep, and the back lounge, you had a couple of videos in there. In those days, we'd watch The Simpsons and Reservoir Dogs. We watched that, and a few other things. But generally, it was a drinking area and a smoking area, and then there's another little lounge at the front, which is nearer the driver. And we had a lot of laughs with the driver, and we still use some of his phrases in our kind of common mendicant hand conversations. Things like, "If she's still alive," that is, which was about. He said that the driver was thinking about visiting his mother in one of the Eastern European countries that we were nearby, and he said, "If she's still alive," that is. So some of the tour bus stories I really can't go into. I better just move swiftly on. So yes, Nightbird, Ode to a Tour Bus. Nightbird, flying so fine, secret as a shadow, straighter than a line. Nightbird, through the snowfall, hear the night call to a traveler to shine, singing, "Hail, Nightbird, hail, Nightbird, yeah." Na da ba 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 da dum, la ba da da la da dum. Nightbird, through the valley, across the prairie, running with a stream. Nightbird, you gotta be the daylight, hiding from the sunlight. Are you just a dream? Singing, "Hail, Nightbird, hail, Nightbird, hey, oh, ma la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, singing, "Hail, Nightbird, hail, Nightbird, Nightbird, flying so fine, secret as a shadow, straighter than a line. Nightbird, gotta be the daylight, hiding from the sunlight. Are you just a dream? Singing, "Hail, Nightbird, hail, Nightbird." And I say, "Hail, Nightbird, hail, Nightbird." 1, 2, 3, 4. Nightbird. Thank you very much. This next song is number 67. Number 67 in Paul's book, and then I'm going to switch over to my own book. This song is one of our collaborations, Paul and myself. So Paul had written these lyrics, I wrote a tune to it. This comes from Devil on the Wind. Vinyl Star Records 2008. So this is a tough song, really. It seems like hard times at the moment, and there's a lot of young people's lives being cut very short, and they're not getting their chance to grow up and to experience the things that we have been so privileged to do. So this song takes the perspective of a father and his son, and how a young death affects an entire family and all the world around it, really. It's called Heartbreak Park. Boys went down to Heartbreak Park. Two boys went down to Heartbreak Park, where the knives in the glass flashed like sparks. Oh, yeah. Heartbreak Park. Two sons went down to Heartbreak Park. Two sons went down to Heartbreak Park, where the shirts so white turn red in the dark. Heartbreak Park. And oh, son, what have they done to you? In the field where we used to run with a football as you grew, it makes your daddy cry. It makes your daddy blue when you're lying in the stark of Heartbreak Park. Two men went down to Heartbreak Park. Two men went down to Heartbreak Park, to fetch their sons where the dogs do bark. Oh, yeah, Heartbreak Park. Two boys went down to Potter's Field. Two boys went down to Potter's Field, and their families followed, and the bells did peal. Oh, Heartbreak Park. And oh, son, what have they done to you? The field where we used to run with a football as you grew, it makes your daddy cry. It makes your daddy blue when you're lying in the dark of Heartbreak Park. Heartbreak Park. Thank you. Heartbreak Park. So that is the two from Paul's songbook. So next up on the numbers list is number 65 on here. So another collaboration between Paul and myself. When I was working on the songs for what became the album Roll to the Left, Paul came round. In fact, we sat around this very table here and we were drinking wine, as we tend to do when Paul's around, red wine, maybe a couple of beers for me, but I think I was indulging in the red wine as well. And I played Paul the tracks that I was working on, the ideas that I had for the album. And this one, so I played him a few tunes as well. Some of them I had lyrics to, and some of them I didn't have any lyrics yet. And this was one I didn't have any lyrics to. So I played it to Paul, and he said, I like the idea. He said, can I write the lyrics for that one? I said, yeah, please do. So he recorded it on his phone, he took it away, and he went down with his son Billy to Hamble, which is the next village along from Netley, where we all used to hang out when we were younger, and for various reasons. And him and Billy sat on the bank there, or on the edge, on the quay, looking into the Solent, and he just looked into the waters, and he got the general idea for this song, and then took it home and polished it up and sent it to me, and I was absolutely delighted with this song. I also think it's a little bit, to me, it's about memory as well, and fading memory. But fading memory. So in those days when I was at school, I used to skive off school quite a lot, and hang out on the river. And one of the things I used to do was to get the little ferry from Hamble across to Warsash. I used to do that quite regularly. That was a fun thing to hang out on, until on one occasion when the guy that was the skipper of the ferry asked to see my privates. So from then on, I cycled the long way round to Warsash and got there that way. And so this one goes out from all the people I knew from there, not that skipper. But so Wingnut was one of the guys there. He used to have a fleet of boats. I went out fishing with him one time, and that was a hard day's work. Another story in that one. Wingnut, and there was Jeffro, who used to live on over in Warsash, and Chris Pallow, Alan Thornlow, many others. So it's for all of you. And he also references quite a lot of pubs in Hamble and that area, which I try to visit occasionally now. When I get down there, generally I go down there to visit my mum and dad's grave, but we'll pop into the pub at that time afterwards. Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, and it's for today. This one is for Caroline Scott and Ian Scott, our friends. Ian's family lived in Warsash as well. So it's called Mists on the Water. I went down to the jetty, down to the cops, sitting in the sun, throwing the stone, watching the crabs run over the rocks, roll in the tide like old bones. I'm right over the water, sail on the breeze, set course to travel in time. Hold on to this dream as long as I can, it fades like memories mine in the water. Did God speed those vessels that swayed in the dawn, the flag of the fleet on each boat? Lovers, commandos at a riding farewell, tucked inside tunics and coats. I got over the water, sail on the breeze, set course to travel in time. Hold on to this dream as long as I can, it fades like memories mine in the water. Further downriver, the ferry boats cross, sails crack in the breeze. from the bugle to the rising sun, from the river banks to the trees. I glide over the water, sail on the breeze, set course to travel and time. Hold on to this dream as long as I can. Fades like memories mine. Yes, fades like memories mine in the water. When that midnight wind was cold and would bite, we pulled out the boat from its moor. The laughter still echoes down through the years, the girl with the house on the shore. I glide over the water, sail on the breeze, set course to travel in time. Hold on to this dream as long as I can, but it fades like memories mine. I glide over the water, sail on the breeze, set course to travel in time. Hold on to this dream as long as I can, but it fades like memories mine. Yes, fades like memories mine. Ooh, Mist on the Water. Thank you very much. Right, so that was in there, that songbook there, and it's from this album here, available on my Bandcamp page. Please visit my Bandcamp, swillodgers.co.uk. Plenty of stuff to check out there. And this next song is, I've got it 72. Oh yeah, it is in here. It is request number 72. Yeah, so let's find page 72. So there's a picture of me and my my dad. And okay, right. Yes, excellent. So this song is a special request. Well, when I say it's a special request, it's a special request for number 72. Nobody knew what that was until now. If you've got my songbook, turn to page 72, sing along. If you're going to play along, it's in the key of E. This song is a Hank Williams song, and it's especially for my brother-in-law and drinking buddy, PJ Wildcat. So Hank Williams, wrote an amazing kind of bunch of songs. Not necessarily a good person particularly. He had his demons for sure. He was born with spina bifida. He was constantly in pain and took a lot of medication to ease his pain, and got worse and worse as he got older. He also had some accidents as well that made his back even worse. At one point, he hired when he was doing well, he employed his own physician that was charging him $300 a week, I think it was, which was a hell of a lot of money in those days, especially because the guy he had some fake certificate. Nowadays it's all one you get on the internet, but he just bought some fake certificate. He was a quack. He was screwing him for money, doing him no good. In fact, really, he probably had a lot of a hand in what ultimately killed Hank Williams. Hank Williams was a raging alcoholic too. He was drinking. He was an alcoholic at the age of, I think, 14, but definitely in his early teens. And by the time he started doing gigs, he had a severe drink problem, and of course, there's drink everywhere at gigs. Everywhere you go in a gig, there's alcohol. It's very hard to not indulge. But he was really going far, and blew out loads of gigs. He was banned from gigs. He was thrown out of the Grand Ole Opry. He lost his radio show due to drinking. He was a womanizer, and ultimately he died on New Year's Eve. He was making his way to one gig, but the snow was so bad he decided to go to a concert in Canton, Ohio, for New Year's Day instead. So he had a guy driving. He was in the car. They had to stop at a motel. He was feeling really ill. They got up a bit later, and he was still feeling really bad. But the guy said, "Look, just lie on the back seat of the car, and take it easy." Hank was very quiet after a few hours, and the guy pulled over and touched him and he was stone cold dead. He was 29 years old. So, yeah. But he wrote some great songs, and this is one of them. It's called You Win Again. The news is out all over town. You've been seen around and round. I know that I should not complain. What can I do? You win again. You have no heart, you have no shame. You take true love and give blame. I guess that I should not complain. What can I do? You win again. I'm sorry for your victim now. Soon his head, like mine, will bow. He'll give his heart, but all in vain. And some they say you win again. This heart of mine will never see what everybody knew but me. Just trusting you was my great sin. What can I do? You win again. Bobby, where are ya? Da da da, la da da da, la da da, ba da da da, la la da da, la la da da. What can I do? You win again. You have no heart, you have no shame. You take true love and give blame. I guess that I should not complain. What can I do? You win again. You win again, from the wonderful Hank Williams. Thank you very much. Right, this seems to have flown by. How long have we been going, James?
About 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. Okay, well that's so that's it. Well, there's one more song now. Thank you for joining me, and go to Paul's page, buy his book. Just type Paul Simmons Bandcamp. It's Paul and Naomi Bandcamp, I think, or Naomi and Paul Bandcamp. Go to my Bandcamp page, get my book and my CDs. Go to the Men That Couldn't Hang's Bandcamp page, and you can download that Demos and Rarities too, with the original version of Broadway Melody on there. And and you know, just generally support your favourite musicians. And well, you know, say it every week really, but you know, we can't wait to get back out there, get on stage, play a gig, go out, meet you all, have a few drinks, socialise, and have a good time. I'm playing at the Hope and Anchor, 4th of December. You can get your tickets online. I'll try and put a link in on Facebook. And it'd be great to see you. So here we go. The last song. This one is a special request. Well, it's been requested by Sana, but it's for John, who requested 104. So it's going to be 104 in my book. Hang on, let's just put that there for the moment. 104, 104. I probably don't need the lyrics anyway. It's one of mine. Here we are, yes, 104. Yeah, so, well, quite an appropriate song, really. For the strange times that we're in, and we're all looking forward to some semblance of normality, or the new normal as they call it. There's also, you know, a lot of problems to sort out in general. So I tend to be an optimist. This is called Tomorrow Will Be Fine. And I'm going to have a go on the harmonica on it. Got the sun on my face, the earth beneath my feet, the rain falls soft on my fields, time on my hands. I'll go warm through the night. Got a candle burning bright as the stars start to fall. I got a dream. Summer breeze, always be kind. Darkness, gentle on my mind. And tomorrow, yes, tomorrow will be fine. Got the sun on my face, the earth beneath my feet, rains fall soft on my field, time on my summer breeze, always be fine. Darkness, gentle on my mind. And tomorrow, yes, tomorrow will be fine. Tomorrow will be fine. Let's hope so. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Keep the requests coming in. Keep the comments coming. I'm not reading the comments right now, but I will read them later, but they throw me off. Yeah, thanks again. Stay well. Stay safe. See you soon. Cheers. Time for a beer.